Gwen. It's so nice to be talking to you this afternoon, and I'm really excited about our topic on friendship. I think we're both interested in human behavior, and so I'm really interested in talking about this topic and getting to know you a little bit better too. So could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Gwen Morris, and I have been in the Department of Psychology and Social Work. This is my 12th year here at Meredith, and I really love it here. I teach all the developmental psych courses, and I also teach Intro to Psych. And so the developmental classes, we talk about lifespan and aging, and of course, child and adolescence.
All right, awesome. We've got a lot of similar interests.
Yeah, and tell me, what do you teach?
I teach communication in the Department of Communication, and my favorite classes to teach are interpersonal communication, where we talk a lot about friendship, relational communication, nonverbal communication, and my specialty area is in the study and practice of forgiveness.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a necessary ingredient for friendships.
Yes, it is. So fun to talk about friendship to our incoming freshmen. An important topic, something that Meredith is very well known for. And so I think it might be helpful information for us to talk about some pointers about how to make friends and maybe some of the benefits of friendship.
That sounds great. And I think that our fields really complement each other in talking about friendship.
Yes.
And also just through these past few weeks or months during the pandemic, my college girlfriends have been such a key ingredient in getting me through it.
Yes.
So even from personal experience.
We're in this together, aren't
Yes,
we?
definitely.
And we need each other.
Definitely. From the psychology point of view, social psychology points out a couple of features that help friendships form. And one of the first ones of these is proximity. Mm-hmm. And when you think proximity, everyone thinks you have to be together physically. And of course, that plays a big role. Most people end up being friends with their college roommates, with their suite mates. But the cool thing is something called functional distance. And that means sort of you can be together online, and that's just a great ground for forming friendships as well.
Right. Another huge factor that I know influences the people we choose to have relationships with, including friendship, is similarity. It makes it easy when we have things in common. In fact, the root of the word communication means common ground, communis. And when we find that common ground with somebody else, that's when we're off. That we start that relationship. I love the quote by C.S. Lewis. He said, friendship is born at the moment when somebody says to somebody else, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and so, when we find those similarities, it makes it very easy for us to connect, and especially for incoming freshmen. They're all new, they're all facing the same new challenges and probably have very similar fears and worries, and so they're all in that together, and they're going to be able to bond in those similarities, I think.
And I think even just being in the same class, that gets sort of kind of checks two boxes, the proximity and the similarity, because they've picked the same class. So you've kind of got a double dip to get started on a friendship.
Exactly.
Another factor would be the reciprocity, so sort of the give and take. Sort of you open yourself up to friendship and does somebody sort of take it back. How does that sort of fit in with COM?
I've often heard, to have a friend, you need to be a friend. And so, everybody's going to be a little nervous about coming to a place where they maybe don't know a lot of people, but just saying hi, what's your major? What's your name even? And starting the conversation. Everybody's going to want to make friends, and so they're all in it together, and just opening up and reciprocating. When somebody acts interested in you, act interested in them. And as you find those things in common, it takes that relationship further.
I think one of the sort of most comforting things facing this semester from psychology is that they found that friendships formed on the internet can be just as intimate as friendships formed in real life.
Right. Yeah, we've learned that during COVID-19 big time, that even though we're socially distancing, we're not socially isolated, that we can still connect through all of those different means. And, as students come to Meredith, they're going to probably connect with their families more through internet or other means. So that's an important component of maintaining relationships too. So, and I was saying before, similarities are what draw us together.
Right.
But also differences. I know that all the students right now are taking the Strengths Finders test as a part of the Strong Points program and learning what their strengths are. And they're all developing different strengths and coming in with different strengths, and we need each other.
Absolutely.
So, if you've got one that's high on woo, that's a good person to hang with because they're probably going to make friends with everybody. But maybe another person is high in empathy.
Right.
They're good at having the deeper conversations and developing trust in relationships. So we're bringing all our strengths, and sometimes making friends with somebody who's very different than us can round us out.
Right.
Right.
I think about the yin and yin yang, sort of the complementarity.
Right. And,
Right.
and bottom line, these friendships, they divide the pain and the struggling, and they multiply the joy and the celebrating.
They do. Well, I think that really leads us nicely into some of the really nice benefits of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I know that communication talks about this.
Mm-hmm.
Psychology really talks about this in all different ways, just the benefits of those friendships and getting us through any challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're coming to college on a regular year or even this year, friendships are key to supporting us.
Right, right. Yeah, we look at every benefit under the sun that comes with a strong support system and deep friendships. Physically speaking, we know people are healthier, right? They're just generally healthier. Their immune system's healthier when they have a good support system of friends. Mentally, we know that when we have a good support system of friends, we feel less depressed.
That's right.
Right? And less anxious.
Yes.
So it divides that.
That's
and
right.
It helps us carry the load with other people. So emotionally, mentally, physically, there's so many benefits. We could talk all day, I'm sure.
And then when you have all those things, you're able to be a better student because you're psychologically in a better spot. I teach a psychology of aging class as well, and one of the really fascinating things in that class, I found a study looking at what predicts how long people live. And one of the most fascinating things is that having sort of these strong and weak social ties was a better predictor than smoking, exercise, and alcohol usage of who was going to live the longest.
Wow, right, and we're so transient now. In my classes, it used to be you focus so much on romantic relationships and how do I pick the right person to marry, but there's so much transience now, and we don't stay by family and in the same hometown. Friendship has become one of the most important relationships in our lives, and so we're doing a lot more study on how important friendship is to add to our life, to add meaning, to add help, to add joy, companionship.
It's definitely worth the effort to be mindful about making friends.
Right, because that can last a lifetime, can't it?
It can, and that's actually one of my expertise is on memory, and we look at people's personal memories. It's called autobiographical memory, and what we found is that people have something called a reminiscence bump. And what that means is that as an adult, when you think back to your life, you remember more from sort of your late teens and early 20s than any other period of your life. And so when you think about that in terms of friendships, the friendships that people make in college are the ones that they remember their entire lives.
Wow, that makes total sense to me. I still have friends from my college years and cherish them very much. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hope these students get here and find some great friends that will last them their entire life.
I hope so too. That's one of the hallmarks of Meredith, and one of the reasons I love teaching here, because of the relationships people form.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was great talking to you today.
Thanks, you too.